Hey, backcountry.church, we are talking about anthropology. When it comes to anthropology, all about mankind, male and female, we cannot pass up the subject about God's sovereignty and the free will of man. Great subjects, a lot of books on this particular topic, excellent books. But let's, for just a brief time that we have, talk about this. I liken these subjects to train tracks. No, not a train wreck, but a train track. And that is, for example, Jesus is 100% man, 100% God without damage to either aspect. So on one rail, you have he is God. On another rail, you have he is fully man. And the two run together. Does it make sense that they're like intertwined? I can't figure it out. I'm not God. But I know that both are true. The same is that God is completely sovereign. And we talked about that, I think, in our first episode here at Kaleidoscope. And nothing can take away from that sovereignty. He, God, made mankind embedded with free will. So here's some thoughts about free will. First of all, that we have the capacity to make choices. Joshua 24:15, and there's so many passages, but here's one. Excuse me. Joshua 24:15, but if serving the Lord is undesirable to you, Joshua is saying to Israel, then choose for yourself this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates or the God of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my household, we will choose the Lord. It is your responsibility to choose. If I had to do life over again, I would make choices sooner rather than later. Yes, I would get wisdom. Proverbs talks about that. In the multitude of counselors, there's much wisdom. I would spend more time in Scripture gathering wisdom, but I would choose faster because oftentimes I'm like, okay, God, what do you have for me? What are you going to do? And God's like, I gave you free will. Like, use it. So I would choose faster with wisdom, with people, and with life experiences, and of course, the Scripture. So not only does God give us the gift of free will, He gave us the responsibility of choices, meaning it's your choice to choose, and then it's your choice as to what the consequences is. You can't go out into a field and plant weeds everywhere and pray for a wonderful harvest. Galatians 6:7 says, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A person, a man, woman, a man reaps what he sows. So you sow in all this, you will reap that. It is called the law of the harvest. So that said, God has not only given us a gift of free will. You're not a puppet. God's not controlling every move. And you have the responsibility for choices. But God does offer guidance. Because we possess free will, the Bible also teaches that He will guide. One of my favorite verses, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit or acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. So what about when it comes to salvation? Do we have free will and salvation? The answer is absolutely. People love to make memes on social media that are just, they lead you to the wrong conclusion. People love to argue about this. The Bible makes it very, very clear. So the three main chapters in Scripture that talk about this are Romans 9, 10, and 11. And 9 and 11 are about the sovereignty of God, and chapter 10 is about the free will of man. And the reason Paul did it that way is because both are true. So what is people's response to the offer of salvation? Romans 10 verses 9 and 10 says, if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. And to make it even better is, as you know, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Romans 10:13 says, for everyone, anybody who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Maybe that's you today. Maybe you've never called on the name of the Lord. Maybe you've never declared with your mouth that Jesus is Lord or boss or the CEO or the one in the driver's seat of my life. He's in charge. And maybe you've never believed in your heart that Jesus Christ was raised from the dead, and he was. Maybe that's you today. Maybe you need to do that. We have been given free will to choose, make our pathway in life. And know this, especially if you're young, choose, decide where you're going to go and go in that direction. And that will lead to another path. That will lead to another path. And man, walking and doing with God, the resume you will write with him is stunningly amazing. Okay, my friends, that's enough for now. Talk to you soon.